Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We are in a creative mixed media art journal, a traveler's notebook size, following the words and wisdom of Mark Twain in his book, Following the Equator. Sit down, enjoy, and let's see where we go. Good morning, good morning. To you, it's not morning for me. I just finished editing my video. I am so glad I took this and redid it. And I have coffee stained paper here that still has coffee grounds on it. I don't really do mine. I do mine haphazardly. I know that's a shock to most of you. But this got left out in a storm night before last. It was coffee stained, and then I got, it had screws and stuff on it. I was trying to rust it. I don't know how this happened, except that it was on a metal cookie sheet. That's all I can think of. And I left it outside on accident overnight in the storm. But that, to me, is luscious. So, we're in Fiji, and we're leaving Fiji. Or in the book, he leaves Fiji that fast. I don't know if he did in real life, but since I'm going by the book, Mark Twain's book, Following the Equator, I got to do what he does. So, I'm thrilled that I redid it. Because this just was amazing. I love this. And then on day, oh, now it has coffee grounds all over it. I'm going to have to clean that off, I guess. And this was my original intent, was to make it on this. And even if I covered it up, it didn't bother me. I was glad that I had that under there. I knew I had it under there. I made it on Procreate, just scribbling with my finger on it. But I revamped everything and did it on this, and I love this. And I wrote on here, I didn't even read this to you, arrived in Fiji and its numerous islands, almost 300. White sand, palms, and tropical plants, and the heat. Because he complained about the heat and humidity a lot. And in fact, he goes into it more in this chapter, which is day 8. And I have to show you something absolutely remarkable. I never knew this book existed, and I'm going through it and marking up things and making notes to myself and when I'm filming and everything. But this one, he's at sail and he's leaving Fiji on his way to Australia. Oh, it may not be this one. It might be next chapter, because I've already done 2 chapters ahead of time. And then when this font shrinks, it's all his little personal essays and political and social commentary that he does throughout this book, which I'm skipping. But he's getting close to Sydney in the next chapter. And I won't, well, you'll just have to wait and see. Sorry. Another little teaser. But he talks about being at sea, and he talks a little bit about the land mass of Australia. So, I know I have a world stamp, and I'm just going to stamp that. This might come into it because I love that. So let me gather my stamp here. I might use a bunch of this stuff. Where did I put that block from the other day? Okay, I found my block. I don't think I turned on my other light. No. Okay. We're getting close to being organized and ready. And it's so hot outside. We turned our air conditioner back up, and I'm freezing. So if my teeth are chattering, don't worry about me. I'm okay. And I don't know how long the dog's going to leave me here. He did not have a good night last night. He hasn't been a cuddler in a long time. And I'm sorry if I keep talking about my dog, but it's just what's happening right now. He hasn't been a good cuddler in a long time. And he never really was. He's always thought of himself as a hound dog. He has no idea he's a Maltese and he's supposed to be this beautiful, sedate lap dog. No. He's a hound dog. He digs in the yard like a hound dog. And that's fine. He came up to me in the bed last night and just kind of cuddled up next to me, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Every time he does something sweet, I was like, oh, here we go. I got the pic collage removed. Guess what? You got to pay some money. I thought I had. Apparently I didn't pay enough because it's gone now. But it's left on some old stuff. I think I'm just going to do a stamp. Here's a piece of brown. So he talks a lot about Australia in this chapter. And most of it is, again, lifestyles of the ancient islanders. And this is an old hedgehog post-it. Kind of like these trees. And just some of the social aspects or the political aspects of taking over their lands. And how the English turned it into a penal colony. So that's what this chapter was about. So we're just going to make we're going to make stamps of the world. I'm pretty sure this was an Amy Tangerine stamp. I think I have this in a larger version, but this will work for us today. And no, don't get too carried away. And then I have stamps of stamps, and some pictures of stamps. I don't know. And then I have my own, like, canceled postage stuff and airmail. I don't know. And then I think maybe I want like a log book. Could use this, except not the food book, movie, music, or party section. Oh, this one is pretty. It says important. I could use that. It's got a neat little border. I might use that. It's kind of like a logbook entry. I don't know. This is how I store my stamps now. I love that. These are old, like, DVDs pockets. So I think I'm going to stamp these on some of this really light stained tea dye stuff. Not tea dye, coffee stain stuff that I did. I mean, and it's barely out there. It's barely there. But that's okay. I stamp it in black. And then I'll cut this out and kind of collage it down. So a lot of this chapter was about the penal colonies and turning Australia into a prison camp. Not a prison camp, prison camp for bad people in England. And there goes the dog. We're going to see how long we could ignore him. That didn't work. I think I must have left the lid off of this stays on because it's relatively new. Unless my new one is down at the beach. I've seen people doing this lately. So the dog is holding his own. We're really, really, really worried about making him suffer. And now that we know all that's in him, that is wrong. Oh. Okay, I like that. I might do this one again. It's like, you know, we don't want to make him suffer. On top of, because I think now he realizes something. The last seizure, I said this already once, the last seizure he had on Sunday before we went on ahead to the vet last weekend, which I can't believe that's already been a week, was really bad. And I think it took something out of him mentally. So, I mean, and it could have been like a mini stroke, which is why we're giving him the blood pressure medicine. But I talked to my friend last night out in California. It was her mom's birthday yesterday. A couple days now for you. When is this going out? Sunday. And her mom's birthday was Friday. 96. And, she just had a cat pass away. I'm having some bad luck with stamping. Too much junk on my desk. And the ink is not really strong. Okay, ink pad, you and I are going to have a little word of prayer. But she is working from home. She's a geologist, specializing in water. And so is her husband. They work at the same place. She's more admin these days than she ever was. More than she ever wanted to be, but she is. All right, that's just going to have to be what it is, which is okay. I just wanted sections of it, I guess. I'm getting sections. And one of them is at home all the time, working from home. Both of them a lot more. But she said they're actually going to close her local office down of this firm. And because they have discovered they can save a lot of money because it's not a problem working from home, which is what a lot of companies are going through these days, I think. Like, oh, we can save a lot of money this way. And because she is more admin, she has talked to other people that are admin. And she said, yeah. She said, we have 6 in their local satellite office, geologists. And she said, we don't need them all in the office at the same time. And we can Zoom. She said, I never thought I would say this, but I know how to Zoom now. And it's just times are changing. I'm really trying to rough up these edges. I'm thinking I might add some fake wrinkles on this end because it's kind of not as distressed. If Mother Nature doesn't do it enough for you, let Tim Holtz help you. Let Tim Holtz help you. Highly recommend help from Tim Holtz. Okay, now, is this blue or what I might think of as Australia? No, but he's still sailing. So I'm going to treat it like a log type of entry that may have gotten weather beaten. And I really don't want to cut stuff. I want to rip it. There goes the dog again. Oh, this sticker keeps trying to come back in the scene here. Oh, maybe we'll use that today, actually. Okay, I have another confession. This is turning out to be a confession series. Yesterday, the Amazon guy came, and I had to order some stuff for, what was I ordering? Oh, I needed a new charger. An Apple charger just doesn't do it for very long life in my household. It lasts about a year, so I needed a new one. I had to get new Wi-Fi buds, whatever you call them. I don't like the Apple ones. I had to get something else. And anyhow, then there was this other delivery, and I'm like, well, what the heck is this? Somehow this was left in my order, and I have 2 of these now. I'm like, oh, that's a $25 book, and I don't spend that much for books normally. They're used books as a rule for me. And just like, what? So now I have 2 of those things. How did that happen? I know Amazon's making a lot of mistakes these days. But that might have been a Beth mistake, not an Amazon mistake. Okay, I kind of wrinkled it up a little bit He really wants to be in the show here. Okay. You're going to come in somehow. Oh. And my friend out in California, her kids were supposed to start school on Tuesday. She's outside of the Sacramento area on the Tahoe side. And it's like, Tuesday? She said, well, they bounced it back a week. And her kids are missing school terribly, missing their friends. She said they need to get back into school. Because they're going through that whole, I'm bored. They're 12. I can't imagine having 12-year-old at my age, let alone 2 of them. She has twins. But here's kind of like an island girl here, but she's got pic collage written on her lower legs. And I don't know why I feel like the stamp thing corresponds with sailing. I don't know. And I never was a stamp person, but I'm kind of liking them and other people's stuff. So try to make a cluster without losing some of the lusciousness of this paper. Definitely the cluster thing is in my life. Not good at it yet, but I am using it now. We're going to have to Tim hold this one up too. I could put some watercolor on it, I suppose. I need to take a bunch of composition notebook stuff and watercolor them and let them sit out in the sun. This one is the tea dye one, which is pretty much the brown that I have of his. This is how you clean your desk off. Rid your desk of coffee grounds. All right, so do I want to use this dictionary? Ooh, look at that vessel. Except it's from a mosque. Okay, let's look up Australia first. Australiana, relating to a characteristic of Australia. Australasian, a region consisting of Australia and the islands of the Southwest Pacific. Australian, a native of an inhabitant or an inhabitant of Australia, a person of Australian descent, relating to Australia. But they don't have Australia. Let's look up South Pacific, since he's on the water. This is an older dictionary. And this one just is not a kid's one. Sailing vessel. That's what we need right there. Can you see that? That's about the size of his ship. Not that many sails. I'm going to have to go get Bogey. I'm afraid he won't jump off the bed, but he gets so close to the edge. Ooh, snakes. That I'm afraid he'll fall. Okay, we're not going to use spacecraft. Southern Cross. Ah! We saw that. I'm going to have to tear this page out. Is South Pacific on here? South Sea, a Southern Pacific Ocean, but not South Pacific. Okay, we're going to tear this one off. All right, and I'm going to go do something with my dog. We have a little bit of white fur here. You want a scrapbook? You want to journal with Mark Twain? You stay in here, okay? All right. Southern Cross, Southern Hemisphere, South Pole, South Sea. There it is. I'm going to cut out this Southern Cross and put it back in the other page. And then Southern Hemisphere. Southerner. That's me. Transplant. This is really a boring color, isn't it? Does this look like water? It's a mixed media piece of paper, so it's thick. I don't like those two together at all. And I don't want to use craft paper or brown over and over and over. Here's jelly plates right here. It's a pretty one right there. Now here's Tomoa River paper. Maybe I put that on there because it's got a little bit of a green tinge to it. Are you back? Okay. Let's put, I'm trying to do this fast because of him. It's not working. Let's kind of do, even though it extends the borders of that stamp. Okay. Now, would Mark Twain have this kind of a journal on his travel notes? No, because he didn't have a typewriter on the boat. He might have. He might have. We're going to go with he did. Okay, let's see if I bring this in. Although, ooh, I like the green showing up. Maybe I need to rip this a little bit more. Get rid of some of the white that was left. Oh, that's better. That's better. You really want to play here, don't you? Me and all my talk about letting the paper do the talking. He's going to be in here. Okay. I kind of want more green. hopefully we got it straight. Other than that, our little friend of our granddaughter's was here yesterday for the last time before she starts back to school. However it might end up. And my friend out in California, her kids were supposed to go back. I think I already said that. But she was having a meeting last night around her fire pit with a bunch of other mothers of some of their friends and neighbor kids and things like that to try to figure out how to do all this once it starts back. And her kids are going back to school full-fledged. Now, she's in Northern California. Now, in northern, where she is outside of Sacramento on the Tahoe side, she's an hour and a half west of Tahoe. They've only had one death in her county, and which is one too many, but and only about 300 cases. So she's in a much different environment than the Bay Area or LA or any of that. And the kids have to wear masks, but it's a little bit less what am I trying to say? Not quite as stringent rules there. Okay. Nah, not my favorite, but I'm not going to redo it like I did yesterday. Yesterday's video for this morning. Oh, yeah. I was like, I just can't live with that. I know I just can't live with it. I don't know what the deal was. Okay. Don't want to rip that off. I think I'm going to pull that. Tomoa River paper is one of my favorites for sure. Especially if once it gets wet and rippled. Okay. Now. I'm not using tape here. I'm just using lots of glue, which I may regret. I'm going to let all this hang over for right now. Now, I'm going to use a brown pen. Here's a gold one, or brass. Gold. I'm going to write day 8. No, it's too fat. The nib is too fat. Gonna go get my brown marker. Oh, let's use gray. Change my mind again. I'm gonna use gray. And I'm gonna write here on our way. This is a really faded gray. A Tombow marker. On our way to Australia. Wave after wave. Fish. Crashing into sides of boat. Let's just get philosophical. Are they in our way, or are we in theirs? He didn't talk about that, but he did talk about fish crashing into the side of the boat. All right, I think I'm going to have to cut this and I'll re-ink it while Tim holds it again. Not thoroughly loving it, not thoroughly hating it, which is progress. And it kind of looks like the logbook thought process has gone out the window. Sort of. Pretty much. Yeah. But I don't hate it. Oh, I was going to do something with Australia. Let's see. On the stamp. Where's my thin one? Okay, so we're like, you are here. Maybe it needs to be in red. I only have a pink one right here. No, that looks horrible. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to stop. And tomorrow we have a really cool entry in this book, in real life. I mean, really cool. Hopefully some of the, maybe I need to distress it more with some water and a brush. More direct than some places. Anyhow, okay, we're stopping at this point on this one. Thanks for watching. See you all on the high seas in Australia.